This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Time to see what happens to the Resistance when someone else is in charge. Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare here with a bonus episode for Mars Warlock. So last time we played, we beat the game in the Resistance path, and we decided not to kill Marco for betraying the group, basically betraying Green Hope to Aurora just so the Resistance could be the new government. And we decided also not to kill Honor Grant at the end, even though he killed the Dowser before us. We left him alive, which meant Roy was basically, was fighting Aurora in his own way, but was kicked out of the Resistance because of how polarizing it was to his views on things. So we're going to do things a little bit differently. I've changed the difficulty to easy mode just to go through it a little bit faster, and two, to show you how much of a difference is from the expert difficulty to easy mode, with like how much damage you do and how easy it is to take out people. There's tactics are the same, they just don't do as much damage. So, but anyway, yeah, we're back here after defeating the drilling worm and going to the prison where they're experimenting on people. So let's talk to Marco, but instead of let him get away with it, we're gonna take him to task.
So, did you get to the shadow line? Did you free the prisoners?
Yeah, I found them and freed them, and I found out some interesting things about the site.
After what we've just done, I'm not sure we need more information. We're going to be able to enter Shadow Lair and attack the source.
You want to leave soon, right? You wouldn't want us to still be around when Abundance shows up, would you?
What? How?
One of the prisoners heard about your alliance from some dying guy, a former member of the Resistance who was your liaison with the other guild. How could you do that?
Don't you see? It was the only way to weaken and disperse the Technomancers enough so we could hope to defeat them. Abundance is ready to support the government we'll be setting up, and with their help, we'll finally have a chance.
At the expense of Green Hope, which has already cost Aurora a lot of blood.
What does that matter now? Aurora doesn't need Green Hope. What we really need is freedom. A future.
And you really believe Abundance's promises? Don't you think the only thing they're interested in is getting a hold of this site?
Maybe. But once we have the source, we'll set up a new government. A government of the people. Then we'll be stronger than ever, and Abundance won't be able to do a thing against us. Roy, you know that without me, the Resistance would be nothing. That I'm ready to give everything for it.
It's kind of funny how Marco doesn't even deny it. Like, after we figure out about him, he's like, what? He could have just been like, no, that wasn't me. Or he could have straight up lied, but now he's just like, yeah, I'll accept it, whatever. And I like how he thinks that the war is all him. In most cases, like 9 times out of 10, I mean, there's a few rare exceptions, but most cases of like groups, if their leader dies, it'll usually form a power vacuum, and just someone else will take up the mantle. Usually someone worse than the previous one because of just what happened. So they're like, oh, if it didn't work this way, we're gonna have to just go all in this time. So yeah, I mean, you're not even that charismatic of a character, so I don't think you need to live anymore. Yeah, I'm gonna Minecraft you.
If we let traitors off the hook, it'll mean the death of the Resistance, remember? And you didn't just betray your side. You betrayed the guild.
It's not treason. I did it for the good of the Resistance, of Aurora. You can't kill me, Roy. What will happen to the movement without me?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, all right. That's if you want to back up on this, but it's like, no, I think someone else can take your place. It's pretty easy, actually.
So long, Marco.
Yeah, we actually have to fight him this time, but yeah. On easy mode, I just insta-kill him.
I never would have believed he'd betray us. I think he really wanted to help the cause, despite everything.
Maybe, but he landed us in a pile of shit. We have to leave Green Hope as soon as possible and take the source by force. The Technomancers were hit hard, so we have a chance to take them, and we can't pass it up.
We'll go then. You want one of your friends to come along?
But yeah, basically what happens is Judy immediately becomes the leader of the Resistance. They don't straight out say it, but she basically does. And she still helps us, but yeah, she isn't controllable when this happens, so we have to choose someone else to help us. So let's give we could have the two of us. Actually, let's give Tenacity some screen time.
I'd like Tenacity to come with us.
I have to admit, I'm having trouble understanding what you see in that guy. He's so cynical and evil. But it's up to you.
We're finally leaving Green Hope, fleeing before Abundance gets here, after shedding light on the activities of the Technomancers and weakening them. Not only did we sabotage their excavation site, but we also discovered the inhuman experiments they were carrying out on the defiant citizens of Aurora. We've won enough here for now. and hope they'll fall, along with the dowser that's backing them, so they'll have to confront their madness. I even managed to get my hands on the serial killer who was stalking Shadowlair. It may seem almost trivial, but it's still good news. Especially as I have lots of regrets. I would really have liked things to have turned out differently. I wish Marco hadn't betrayed us, that I hadn't had to kill him, that Green Hope had stayed ours. But we have to go on to the next chapter and keep moving forward. That old rascal Tenacity is with me. It'll be good to have his practicality and effectiveness in this march on the Source. Because the Tyrant will be well protected, and it's time we settled a few scores.
Yeah, we don't even fight the Dowser though, so we only fight like his elite guards as the final boss.
There! Kill him!
So, that's the Source. All this wealth. But you've already been here, haven't you?
This takes me way back, Judy, and I only ever got to see the areas reserved for the Technomancers. I didn't have access to the government offices.
It doesn't matter. We'll find the Dowser. It's time for the Resistance to confront the oppressor of the people. The Tyrant will be judged for his crimes. We have to be careful. Failure is not an option this close to victory. Defeating the Source's guards isn't going to be a cakewalk.
I'm not worried about the guards.
So he who has no fear has nothing to lose. I ask myself sometimes, what are you looking to gain fighting with us?
Yeah, it's going to be easy because I turned it to easy mode. And even then, they're not that hard. Really, it's only expert mode where it's a bit of a challenge. Even, was it difficult mode or whatever, isn't that too much. Too difficult. Like I said, you almost, if you want to challenge the game, you almost have to kind of play it on expert mode. Otherwise, it's pretty much of a cakewalk. So, but yeah, let's. Well, since we're you know, special with Judy, I believe in you.
After the insanity of the Technomancers, I believe in you. I believe in the Resistance. The people of Aurora deserve a chance to make their own future.
There's no cause more noble or just than the fight for freedom. Let's do this.
I fight for freedom. Too bad Tenacity doesn't really say much during this. Like, I think he says some stuff at the end, like right before we go meet the Dowser. But yeah, look how much damage I do to these guys, like instantly. Like, one attack does like a ton of damage to them. More than when I played the game normally. Look at that. And that's not beefing up my nail gun. Look at all that damage I'm doing. Yeah, it goes to show how much, how much the Judy hasn't left. She's with me right now. I know what they mean. It's because it's building up from stuff from what happened before. Actually, I don't even really need to grab anyone at this point. I can just run through the area and fight everyone. So, yeah, I just basically built everyone. I built everything up from before. Bought just a bunch of stuff just in case. But like I said, I should be pretty much piecemealing these guys. So. Oh yeah, I guess I could finally show off. Well, I'll show it off during the boss fight. The overcharge ability. Just blast him. But yeah, I think, and I've noticed when changing difficulty that the final area, the people's stats are slightly different. Like they have a bit more HP. Because when I was playing some of the earlier levels just to get to this point through the prison where they took all the people to experiment them on, and I was like doing almost half damage per shot. That's like how crazy it was, like how much difference the difficulty is. But yeah, these guys have a little bit more HP than before, but not by much. Oops, I actually didn't mean to do that. Just through. And yeah, they're not doing as much damage to me now either, as you can see. Like, you can just kind of take as many beatings as you want to survive this, so. Yeah, you only play on hard mode, expert mode if you really want to you know, be challenged in this game. Yeah, before that lightning blast would have like almost killed me on expert mode, but yeah, just a little chunk of damage. Actually, if you want to know what the overcharge ability is, it's basically what happens when they explode, except I don't die, or it's not because I died. You know what I mean? During the this point, I think this is the final room, is it? Yep, this is the final battle of the game, by the way. So basically, overload. Actually, let's activate something. Just a spell. So overload, all it does is it charges you up, and as you can see, my fluid is going by really fast. Look how fast it charges back up. But as soon as we hit max, let me see if I'll wait for it to hit max just to show what happens. Let me heal myself just in case I don't actually die. Okay, here we go. Yeah, you blast everyone back and take a. Oh, I almost actually died. Well, I was letting myself get beat on, so I guess even the final boss on easy mode can, if you're not paying attention, could possibly kill you, but not really. Yeah, I could see why this would be a really hard fight, because you're fighting two Technomancers at the same time. But like, I basically just spammed my electrical bomb, or my bombs and everything like that to kill these guys, so it wasn't that difficult. So it is kind of fun sometimes being overpowered just to blast everyone. Yeah, I'm surprised I never showed overload during the final mission of the game when I played it, the official story. I wasn't even paying attention. I just kind of did it, so. Alright, now it stopped Wisdom, but Wisdom's already been killed by Honor. We know that from the story. I'm going to go make another save. I'm just going to use like a really old save slot from like 2013. Yeah, you get 13 or 50 save slots in the whole game, so. So yeah, look at that. Last time or before I did the recording, last time I played this game was 2013. Holy cow, am I old. Anyway. But I don't mind saving an old file, that's fine. Because you can decide how to deal with Honor Grant at the end. So I want to show both variations of the ending. It's not by much, it's only like some slight dialogue, but I still want to show it anyway.
Finally, we'll be able to make the man face up to his nonsense. All this time, I hope he squeals.
Sorry, Tenacity. I think I should go alone with Judy.
Why? You gonna sneak off for some action with her and the old guy, or what? She's cute, yeah, sure, but I'm pretty sure she's gonna go wacko on you. You can't just do what you want in there. The cause, freedom, blah, blah, blah. You'll see. A cool mind would serve you well.
I make my own decisions, Tenacity. Remember that. But, thanks for the offer.
What the? But you killed him. Why?
Wisdom was my friend. He was the leader of Aurora. I could not let him be dragged in front of an angry mob. Let the people judge him. You were going to debase Aurora in the eyes of the other guilds if you humiliated its dowser. I couldn't allow that.
You're completely wrong about us. Yes, he would have been judged, but it would have been fair. We're not here to destroy, but to rebuild.
Your beautiful ideas are naive and dangerous, girl. And I was sure you wouldn't understand. But I'm ready to answer for my actions.
You will be judged for this murder as well as for your involvement in a corrupt government. You will have to answer for many things.
Are you sure we can leave him alive after what he just did? You heard him. You think he'll just stand aside peacefully and watch the Resistance form a new government?
I'm not like him. I can't kill just because it suits me. He may be a pragmatist, but there is the blood of a hero running through his veins. He fought for Aurora. But this is your fight and your decision.
Why are you giving me the choice? Aren't you the leader of the Resistance now? But it's like the same with Marco. You think they wouldn't care what I think, but I guess because I put all the work into it. So yeah, as you notice, Marco is all about killing him and setting him as an example, and you actually had to be the face of reason. While in this path, you basically have to play devil's advocate, depending on if it's Marco or Judy in charge. You know, you always have to give the player a choice on this one, so. But in this case, I'm going to let him live, and then I'll show you what the variation on the ending when you kill him, so.
You're right. We're better than this. He needs to stand trial.
I guess I have to thank you for your mercy. Even if my execution is just postponed.
You should thank him. He shares those dangerous, naive ideals that you fear. Roy has a strength of conviction that you do not. And you owe him your life because of it. I'll leave you to your pragmatism. Alone. Come on, Roy. We have so many wonderful things to do. There's a world to rebuild. The free people of Aurora await!
So, in the name of the resistance and right ideas, of freedom for the people, I've committed sabotage, spied, even killed. Including one of their leaders who thought he was doing good and committed betrayal for the benefit of abundance. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Thanks to our actions, the Technomancers are now under constant resistance surveillance. Their dreams of power are at an end, this time. It was suggested I command them, but I don't like the idea of holding all these people on a leash like I was. Mary has joined their group. I think she felt lost without chains, but maybe one day, even though she's eccentric, she'll be leading them. Tenacity has decided to hunt for the resistance. He's looking for traitors, everyone suspected of participating in all the horrible things. That'll probably lead to a real cleansing. Judy hates the idea, but she can't stop the people from holding grudges. Aurora will have to set up a new government. I hope, of course, that it'll be less corrupt, but I'm not dreaming. There will always be tyrants ready to take over the guild, ready to dominate the people for their own ends. Judy will keep debating as usual to try to defend her dream. She did, of course, ask for my help, but to be honest, I'm not sure I belong among them. I'll be staying here for a while regardless, just to see how things pan out. Because I know the conflict is far from over. Abundance will not give up so easily. The death of our Dowser and the recovery of Greenhope will give them the hope that they can crush us. And even if we still have a war hero, he'll soon be appearing before a court, if he's let off. I fear he'll be the leading opponent of the new government. Anyway, for the moment, life goes on and Aurora can now dream of a better future. One that Innocence, who sacrificed himself for this dream, will never know. And so I write the final words of the war log of Innocent Smith, to give it a proper ending. Farewell, kid.
Alright, so that's the end of that one. So, yeah, Mary, I think in the original, when the ending I got where you leave Marco alive and leave Honor alive, I don't think Mary really got mentioned in that ending, if I remember. She actually gets mentioned in this ending with helping with the Technomancers and everything like that. But, yeah, a lot of it's still the same, but there's some slight variations. So now that we're done with that, let's go ahead and load that again. But go over to see what happens when we kill Honor Grant instead. Yeah, it's kind of weird that they don't have you come into the final room with all your companions. Or like, just stay out here. Kind of, it was weird when you set Judy back there. Cause, like, even though you leave Marco alive, like, dude, she's like second in command. Why would you just set her back there? And she just like, oh, okay, it's fine. I was like, what?
Finally.
But anyway,
Sorry to
it's just fast to that. So, and yeah, obviously Mary has dialogue if you bring her.
Was my friend. He was the leader. You were going.
But we'll show that off here in a second. So, all right, it's best they die.
We can't let him live. He'd be like an open sore for the new government.
I don't see how you can say that. I have always fought for Aurora. You know that. I contacted you to get your help.
It wasn't exactly selfless, though, was it? A little give and take, right? Your protection in exchange for my help.
Roy, you said that you believe in what we stand for. But killing a man without a trial is not our way. Justice must be the same for everyone.
Nope, he has to die.
Judy, I'm sorry, really. but it's too big of a risk. Imagine if he sided against you. He must die. Honor, fare thee well.
The Resistance finally takes charge, and our first order of business is to sentence a man to death without a trial. Did it feel good? Huh?
Judy, this man would have fought tooth and nail against everything we tried to build. He hated our ideas.
I'm trying to see it through your eyes, but it's just too sad. It's too horrible. Oh, come on, let's go. This is just the beginning of our worries. I need to get out of here and face them.
Yeah, I think you one-shot him no matter what difficulty it's on, because he's not going to fight back, so it's kind of funny, just like you punch him in the back of the head. Apparently that kills him. I think you're supposed to shoot him or electrocute him or whatever, but yeah.
So, in the name of the Resistance and right ideas, of freedom for the people, I've committed sabotage, spied, even killed. Including one of their leaders who thought he was doing good and committed betrayal for the benefit of abundance. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Thanks to our actions, the Technomancers are now under constant Resistance surveillance. Their dreams of power are at an end, this time. It was suggested I command them, but I don't like the idea of holding all these people on a leash like I was. Mary has joined their group. I think she felt lost without chains, but maybe one day, even though she's eccentric, she'll be leading them. Tenacity has decided to hunt for the Resistance. He's looking for traitors, everyone suspected of participating in all the horrible things. That'll probably lead to a real cleansing. Judy hates the idea, but she can't stop the people from holding grudges. Aurora will have to set up a new government. I hope, of course, that it'll be less corrupt, but I'm not dreaming. There will always be tyrants ready to take over the guild, ready to dominate the people for their own ends. Judy will keep debating as usual to try to defend her dream. She did, of course, ask for my help, but to be honest, I'm not sure I belong among them. I'll be staying here for a while regardless, just to see how things pan out. Because I know the conflict is far from over. Abundance will not give up so easily. The death of our Dowser and of Honor, and the recovery of Greenhope will give them the hope that they can crush us. Anyway, for the moment, life goes on and Aurora can now dream of a better future. One that Innocence, who sacrificed himself for this dream, will never know. And so I write the final words of the War Log of Innocent Smith to give it a proper ending. Farewell, kid.
Alright, that's it for that. Oh yeah, you can skip it and it immediately doesn't do a proper ending, so it shows you during like him walking away on it. So, but yeah, as you can see, the dialogue doesn't change that much between the various endings. Let me show off the one where you kill him, or you agree with Marco to kill him. Like I said, not much different other than Marco would obviously be with you in this case because of, you know, everything.
We're here.
I still think it's weird that they just have Judy sit back.
Yeah, I get it.
Don't worry.
But anyway, yeah, it's the same as before.
Why did you kill him?
But yeah, if you obviously if you've watched the
being some-
ending
Are you sure
story I did
you're
to get the dialogue from this, so no, you're right. Let's kill him.
You're right, Marco. The idea of letting him live after what he did.
Roy, I asked you to work for me. You know I only want what's good for Aurora. Doesn't that at least deserve a fair trial?
Like the one you gave your friend? Roy, think of Innocence. You know why and how he died. This self-proclaimed hero could have stopped it. He let it happen. For power. And a little more influence.
Oh yeah, and there's some slight different dialogue depending on what reason you give each leader to why you're helping them, whether it be you hate Technomancers or whatever, so that there's a slight dialogue difference there as well. So, yep. They even give you a chance to back out again, but no, he dies.
You're right. It's better for him to die. Goodbye, Honor. You sealed your own fate long ago.
Alright, let's shoot him this time.
You made the right choice, Roy. This man was as rotten as the others. In the end, all he was interested in was his position in the government. I'm sure he thought he'd be able to find a new one.
You know he made me a proposal. He could have saved innocents, but he wanted something in return.
Doesn't surprise me. Come on. We should leave the palace. The people are waiting for us. It's time for the Resistance to put together a government.
Kind of funny how far, like, honor flops when you shoot him. It's kind of funny with... There's not quite ragdoll physics in this game, but, you know. It's weird how they work sometimes.
So, in the name of the Resistance and right ideas of freedom for the people, I've committed sabotage, spied, even killed. For the sake of a man who, in the name of his ideas, didn't hesitate to betray his guild. But the end sometimes justifies the means. Thanks to our actions, the Technomancers are now under constant Resistance surveillance. Their dreams of power are at an end, this time. Marco even wanted to destroy the Order, but I managed to get him to understand it would be a mistake. Aurora needs them regardless. Mary once thought about joining them, but I convinced her to stay with me. Whatever the future holds, at least we'll meet it together. Tenacity has decided to hunt for the Resistance. He's looking for traitors. Anyone and everyone suspected of participating in all the horrible things. This will probably lead to a lot of cleansing. Judy hates the idea, but she can't stop the people from holding grudges, and stopping Marco's fanaticism is even harder. Aurora will have to set up a new government. I hope, of course, that it'll be more just, but I'm not dreaming. There will always be tyrants, ready to take over the guild, ready to dominate the people for their own ends. And to be honest, Marco fits the profile perfectly. As usual, Judy will keep debating to try to defend her dream. She asked for my help, of course, and since I still have Marco's trust, I'll be staying here for a while, just to see how things pan out. I know the conflict is far from over. Abundance will not give up the struggle despite Marco's politicking, if he thought giving them green hope would be enough for them. They did, of course, give indirect help to defeat the Technomancers, but it was definitely not to help the Resistance. And without the General to guide our troops? Anyway, for the moment, life goes on and Aurora can now dream of a better future. One that innocents who sacrificed himself for this dream will never know. And so I write the final words of the war log of Innocent Smith, to give it a proper ending. Farewell, kid.
Okay, so yeah, you can tell that if you agree with Marco, you get a bit more power and influence in the Resistance. And I guess Mary is mentioned. I guess it's one of those I just kind of bleeded over when I did the recording for the original ending, and then yeah, it says she hangs out with Roy afterwards because of Marco being in charge. So with that, as opposed to Judy. So okay, so one more thing to do is before we call it an episode, is to show off the killing Marco again, but however, I just want to choose Mary to go with us just to show the dialogue that occurs when she's with the group, when she joins, and when she's at the final door to the before we encounter Wisdom, who gets shot. So yeah, it's a big twist. You think you're gonna fight him as like this big epic boss, but no, you just fight his guards and then find out he got shot by your allies. So yeah, it's kind of weird how, like, I still find it weird that Marco didn't try to deny it. He's just like, after you say it, he's like, oh, yeah, I did. So anyway, kill him.
So long.
Yeah, I think he is a
I never
one-shot.
would have believed he'd betray.
Maybe. The Techno...
We'll go then.
Okay, well, let's choose Mary this time.
I'd like Mary to come with us.
I keep asking myself why you drag her along with you. She's, bizarre. Never mind, we may be able to put her talents to use.
Like I said, I like Mary, actually, just because of how weird she is. I
Fleeing
think
before-
this one's
Not
the
only did we
same.
sabotage there, we've won enough here. I even managed to get my hands on
And
the
this
serial
this
killer who was
in
stalking
this
Shadow
like
there.
chapter
It may
transition
seem,
changes
especially as
depending
I
on
have lots of regrets.
missions, certain missions and stuff
I
like
would really
that.
have liked, but we have to go on.
But it's
Mary
not
is
like
with
very
me.
many.
One more Technomancer will be more than welcome in this march on the Source. Because the tyrant will be well protected.
Okay. Yeah,
and
I
it's
just
time
wanted to
we
show the
settle a
dialogue.
few
If
scores.
Mary's with you on that one. Sorry, I'll probably cut my voice out all of a sudden when he's saying the Mary line. Yeah, we'll just skip that.
So, that's the sort.
This takes me.
Okay,
we have to-
and then let's
So you-
change our reasoning this time. I hate the Technomancers.
The Technomancers destroyed my life, hunted me down like an animal. I saw them for what they are. I won't rest until no trace of them is left on Mars.
Be careful not to be consumed by your hatred, even if it has brought you to us. You may feed upon the flesh of evil men, Roy, but as they used to say on Earth, you are what you eat.
Sometimes this game has some pretty interesting dialogue choices and everything like that. So, all right, let me go ahead and I'll just kill these guys off, and I'll be right back at the Praetorian Guard, like basically right before you fight or deal with honor, grant, and wisdom. So. Alright, we're back after beating the Praetorian Guard, so let's deal with the wisdom, but we're just going to show a bit of it because we've already shown all of it. I just wanted to show some of the dialogue options if you're with Mary and all that.
So all we have to do is enter this office, and it's done.
It's gotta end, and now is a good time. I need you to stay here while I sort this out with Judy.
You want to be alone with her and the old man? You think she's pretty? And you don't want me to distract you?
Listen, people have all kinds of relationships, not just ones based on love or sex. There's also politics. Yeah, look, forget it, I'll be back.
Maybe. But she is pretty and an idealist. She can get a great many things from you with her fancy words.
Listen, the worry in your eyes gets me, really. But I'll be fine. Just wait for me here. I'll be right back.
Yeah, like, Mary is freaking jealous of you. Even if you're not in a relationship with her, even if you don't do that side quest, she acts like that anyway, which is kind of funny that she's just like, dude, like, you know, cat fight or whatever. But Judy doesn't say anything about Mary saying those things.
What
So
Wisdom
let's
was my
see.
friend. You were going.
You're completely wrong.
Your
There should be,
beautiful
like,
ideas,
You will be judged for this.
Are you sure we can leave him alive?
I'm not like him. I can't kill just because it suits me.
We can't let him live. He'd be like an open sore for the new government.
I don't see how you can say that.
It wasn't exactly selfless, though, was it?
You're letting your hatred get the better of you. This man is not a technomancer, so he didn't risk his life to stop them, but he's still not one of them. Please.
Yeah, see, there's a slightly different dialogue if you if you choose not to kill him, it just automatically goes to that. But if you choose to kill him, she mentions your hate when you mention the Technomancer thing. So there is slightly different dialogue choices. It's just depending on what choice you make at that point. So
Fine. Let him be judged by the people.
Thank you, Roy. Come on. The others are waiting for us. We have a world to rebuild.
I think that's it for that. The only other dialogue difference is who you have with you if you're with Marco instead. So let's see, I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, and then if you choose just to take Judy by herself, there's some dialogue options for that too. So let's get back to that, and we can just skip the ending. So it's basically the same.
So, including one of their leaders who, thanks to our actions, the Technoman, it was
Yeah, see, I
suggested
think-
I command them, but Mary has joined their group. Tenacity has decided that'll probably lead to a real cleansing. Aurora will
see, I'm
have to
just
set
saying
up.
there's any- I
There
don't
will
think
always be
there's any
tyrants.
extra
Judy
dialogue.
will keep debating as you. I'll be staying here for a while, regardless. Abundance will not give up, so and even if we still have a anyway, for the.
Yep, it is the same. Okay. All right. Yeah, there's like so many just variations on the ending depending on who you take with you. So, I mean, like I said, it's not a ton. It's just like some slight differences. But I like the fact that games actually pay attention to dialogue because that kind of gives a bit more immersion to the world when you have, you know, very like your choices matter type of thing. Even though in this case they're minor at best. You know, kind of like Telltale games. A lot of those choices are kind of minor. But
So,
all right, let's see what happens if we just take with the dialogue. If we just take Judy by herself,
If so,
shoot it in the face. You shot Marv in the
I never would've
face.
believed he'd
Maybe the tech.
We'll go then.
I'd rather just the two of us went.
I'll be happy to travel alone with you, Roy. I mean, alone. I mean, there'll be the troops, of course, but anyway, let's go.
I like how she's like, you know, like I don't, you know, she gets. I don't know. I just like the fact that she's
sabotage their
you know,
excavation site.
she's
But we also
embarrassed,
discovered
basically.
the inhuman. We've won enough here for now, and hope they'll fall. I even managed to get my hands, especially as I have lots of regrets. I would really, but we have to go on to the next chapter. So I'm going with Judy to the source, with the soldiers of the resistance. Because the tyrant.
Okay, that was there might have been some other dialogue difference there, but that was basically the one I wanted to show off with Judy. So okay, we can just skip all this stuff because that's. Oh yeah, I never actually did the whole Avenge with Innocence with Judy.
Innocence was put to death in front of my eyes. He didn't deserve to end up like that. Wisdom and his thugs will pay, I swear it.
Roy, revenge can destroy you. It's a darkness that can devour you from the inside. I liked Innocence. He was a pure soul. Avenge his death if you have to. Not for revenge, but for the future that he wanted.
Okay, so I'm gonna get back to the door with just Judy. I think there is some different dialogue if you enter the door, so I'll be right back. All right, we're back after dealing with everything with just Judy. I can see where it could be a bit more difficult if you if you only have the two of you, but nothing you can't handle. Oh, there is no dialogue. Never mind. So.
Wisdom was
You're complete.
But we can show off the different
ideas.
dialogue if we
You
choose to
will be
kill him
punished.
anyway.
I'm
I
not
could have swore
like
they
you.
say something to each other before they walk in. Oh well, whatever.
We can't let him live.
I don't see how you can.
It wasn't exactly selfless, though.
Roy, killing this man won't bring Innocence back. Okay, maybe he could have saved him, but what's done is done. His death will change nothing. Please.
All right. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter in this
Judy,
case. So.
I'm sorry, really, but it's too big of a risk.
Okay, so and we can actually save it there if you want to save it right before, because it actually gives you a chance to bow out. So, all right, not quite done yet. So let's do the Marco, but choose like other characters to join us, because last time we chose Judy to come with us when we left Marco in charge. So now let's see what happens when we take Tenacity and Mary. So yeah, it means having to go through it multiple times, but I'm skipping. I've already shown you all the ones I'm going to do without skipping, but now I'm going to skip all that, so that way I can just show the dialogue off. So we're just going to keep them right, so you get to live today, Marco.
I think this business is pretty without it.
I'm glad.
Okay, anyway. Yeah, let's go. And yeah, if you choose to kill him, you immediately go to the source, so it doesn't give you a chance to back out and do it. You have to straight up go if you kill him, so, but...
We can go.
He's one of your friends.
Yeah, so we chose Judy last time, so, and he's like, oh, that makes sense, right? So, but let's choose Tenacity this time.
I think Tenacity could be useful.
I just don't get how you can team up with that guy. I don't know how you can trust him, even if I have to admit he's good. Anyway, let's go.
Okay, so this is all the same. So I'm just going to show the dialogue when we actually get
We're
to.
finally leaving Greenhope. Not.
I'm just going to show. Well, actually, there is some slight dialogue if you choose Marco and choose your reasoning to help him. Because before I think I chose Innocence in that case.
When I was a kid,
Never mind. Yesterday,
they don't.
you.
Okay, so yeah, I believe in you.
I ended up believing in you and your ideals. The Technomancers and Wisdom being insane only helped your case. The people of Aurora deserve their freedom. I'm gonna see this through to the end.
Okay, so now I'll see you at the Praetorian door again. All right, and once again we defeated the Praetorian Guard. So let's see what happens when we, deal with Wisdom with Tenacity in the group.
Finally, we'll be able to make the man face up to his nonsense. All this time, I hope he squeals.
Sorry, Tenacity. I think I should go alone with Marco.
This two-bit revolutionary who's straight as a broken arrow. You already forgot what happened at Green Hope or what? He's like all the others. He only thinks about himself and the power he's going to get. Not a good idea.
I'll be on my guard, don't worry. And since I'm used to working with you, I never trust anyone completely.
All right, so that's the same. So there is some extra dialogue
you
if
kill
you
him?
choose what your reasoning is for helping
Wisdom
him
was
is.
my friend. You were going to debate.
You've allowed a criminal to.
I was sure you.
You think being some kind of hero is going to get you?
Are you sure you want to kill him?
You know what he did, and what he stood by and let others do. All those people who died to quench their thirst for power. And you would spare him?
Let's see. I thought there was some mentioning of, there was supposed to be a type where he mentions innocence.
You're right, Marco.
Roy, I asked you to work like the one you gave your friend. Roy, this man stood with the government till the end. No matter what he says, he could have done something, used his power to stop them, but he stood there and watched. The people will never be free while he draws breath.
You're right. It's better for him to die.
Okay. Well, showed that off. I could have swore he mentions, oh no, I didn't choose innocence that time. I chose believing in you. That's right. That's the dialogue difference. Ha. Man. Too many recordings and too many variations. I'm trying to remember them all, so. Alright, let's go back again, except this time choose Mary to come with us so we can get her dialogue options, and choose to say I hate technomancers, and see Marco's dialogue for that. I know probably people don't find the dialogue differences interesting, but I thought I'd show it off because, I mean, how many people are going to actually play Mars Warlog? It's such an obscure game that people don't really talk about it, so I'm showing off most of what I can anyway, so.
So, did you eat?
Alright, let's leave him alive again.
I think...
Let's go. Alright, Mary this time.
I'd like Mary to come with us.
Technomancers stick together, don't they? Even renegades, it would appear.
Yeah, don't mention the fact how weird she is and everything like that.
Not only did we sabotage, we've won enough here. I even managed to get my hands on this, particularly as things are far from rosy. But we have to go on to the next. Mary is with me. One more Technomancer will be more than welcome in this march on the source.
Yeah.
Because of the time.
Right. Well, that doll is the same no matter what. So, but all right, time to show off what happens if you choose you hate Technomancers and his dialogue for that.
Ever since I was a kid, the Technomancers have been controlling me. They forced me to learn their techniques. They tracked me. I've seen what they can do. Hatred can be a pretty powerful driving force. The only thing that counts for me today is stopping them.
Alright, now we just have to beat everyone again, so I'll be right back. They are down again. The guard have been defeated by me by throwing a ton of bombs and electricity at their faces.
So all we have to do is enter this office, and it's done.
It's nearly done. I hope so. We'll know in a few minutes. But I really need you to wait here. I'm going in with Marco.
I don't like that man. Hiding ambition behind lofty words? He's no better than anyone else in the source. Those he can't control, he kills.
You're probably right, I have to admit. But don't worry. I'll keep my wits about me. Wait for me here, and don't worry. This will all be settled soon enough.
It's kind of weird, though, that Marco or whoever's with you doesn't comment on that, so.
What the
Wisdom, you were going.
Alright, let's see the extra dialogue.
I was sure you think being some kind of hero is gonna get.
Are you sure you want?
You know what he did, and what he stood by.
You're right, Marco.
Roy, like the one you gave your friend. This man sat back and let the Technomancers rise in power, letting their insidious influence spread throughout Aurora. He could have stopped it, changed it all, if he wished.
Yeah, that's the dialogue you get if you choose you hate the Technomancers instead, so.
You're right.
Alright, so just one more thing before we call it an episode is just what happens if you choose to go by with just Marco by himself. I mean, it's not much, but, you know, like I said, I'm trying to be completionist about it. The only thing I haven't completed about it is showing off the journal, just that talks about enemies and stuff like that over the course of the game.
So,
that's not that big of a deal to go through. I should have gone through that over the course of the game more efficiently. I might do that during the honor path, just like take quick breaks, because I'll be skipping a lot of dialogue during that one because, well, the story stuff will be different because of who you're working for, but a lot of the side quests are pretty much the same, so.
I think this.
All right, let's go.
We can go.
he's one of.
Yeah, no need for company.
Don't need company.
You're really used to working alone. Afraid of losing another friend? I mean, I understand. Let's go.
Yeah, with what happened with
We're
Innocence
not
anyway,
only did
so.
we've won enough here for now. I even managed to get my hand, particularly as things are far from. But we have to go on to the next. So I'm going with Marco to the source, with the soldiers of the Resistance. Because the tyrant.
Okay, yeah, that's the extra dialogue. You just say you're going with Marco if you don't choose anyone else to go with you. But let's see. Just doesn't matter. Okay, so before that, I don't think. Like I said, I could go over the Warlog and everything. Yeah, the diary basically just tells you what goes on in the course of the game, so it gives you like a gist. It's basically from instance perspectives up to a certain point, and it talks about how he goes over. Yeah, I should have really read this over the course of the game. I almost want to maybe make this a separate episode where I read over this. Oh yeah, and here's the fights. It tells you like how to fight each character. Humans with shields and stuff like that. It's just like how to actually fight them effectively. So if you're having trouble with it, you could read over the fights. I did that at the very beginning of the game, but after a point I got used to the game, so I didn't even remember it. I forgot what technique this is. I think it's from this renegade path or whatever it is that unlocks that technique, if I recall. Then there's all the characters and the groups and everything like that. You could read over, just like how Fatso has its own box or whatever. Yeah, he has a brief description of the characters, but yeah, it doesn't go much over. It doesn't. The journal doesn't evolve after a certain point, so it's basically the base description of all the characters in the game, and yeah, it just explains who they are and everything like that. And there's a couple entries here. I think that changes depending on which path you're on, because some won't unlock at all. It might be some might be missed by not talking to this very specific people multiple times and everything like that. So, and then yeah, it just goes over the different locations of the game. So, yeah, I kind of wish I'd taken a bit more, paid attention to this and read off the journal over the course of the game instead of just forgetting about it, because I was just so used to playing the game that I wasn't even thinking about maybe reading the journal and everything like that. So, yeah, I forgot where at one point where it stops being. Okay, yeah, I was told Roy. And then I think it's, yeah, at this point where, yeah, against the resistance. Yeah, so the final page for this is, so here I am back at the source after all these years, this time as a conqueror. We are finally going to confront Wisdom with his betrayal of the people and with the horrors that he committed. Marco made concessions that were kind of compromising for the cause, and now we are here. We can hope to change things and topple the tyrant. And if you choose to be with Judy, it's a different occurrence. So you know what, yeah, I think I'll call it here for the bonus stuff anyway, or at least for this playthrough. I might do one more bonus episode out after I finish the game and just go over the diary, just to read all that stuff off for those who are interested in it. But I'll make that another bonus episode. But for now, I think I'll leave it off here. So hope you enjoyed the little extra content, like a little extra bonus dialogues from everything. And next episode, I'm going to join the honor path instead, just to show the difference between the two journeys. Like, the story itself is different because of your objectives, but everything else in the place is similar. We still go to Green Hope. We still have to the side quests are basically the same. It's just like the story behind it, like what you're doing with honor. Instead of working with the resistance, you're working with him. But anyway, I guess I'll leave it out there. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.